Hello Year 6, this is Lesson 4 on Thursday the 21st of January, and it is Lesson 4 of your 2-week writing journey where you are going to be writing a first-person recount as a resident in the city of Pompeii. So today we are going to be looking at a waggle. You will need your group's copy of the waggle that was emailed to you yesterday. And now I'm going to talk to each of the groups, yellow, green and blue groups, individually and explain your task to you. Hello green group. So your task for today is to have your waggle in front of you and explore the vocabulary and grammar that's in your waggle and discuss the effect of this on the reader. Now I've only got the first paragraph of the waggle in front of me, but I'm going to read that to you now. So the day started like every other day. Sitting quietly in the garden, I noticed there wasn't a cloud in the sky. In the distance, you could hear the occasional lazy roar from the gladiatorial lions, who were basking in the early morning sunshine. It promised to be a great day. Rushing to get ready, I was due to meet my friends in the Forum for lunch. I felt the ground beneath my feet shudder and shake. I stumbled and almost fell. It only lasted for a minute or so, but it was long enough to make me confused and somewhat concerned. Then I remembered that this had happened before, and yet everything was now still fine. I didn't notice the small wisp of smoke rising from the top of Vesuvius. Nobody did. Walking through the market, I couldn't help but smile at my good fortune. Everything was all right in my world. Approaching the square, the local soothsayer was shouting at the top of his voice to leave the city now, that the volcano was about to erupt. Silly man, I thought to myself. Everyone knows that it's been dormant for years. Even so, a few people stopped to listen to him, but then moved on, unperturbed by his warnings. So, green group, that's the first paragraph. You've got a few more paragraphs as well. But this is what I would want you to do. You are going to explore the vocabulary and grammar and discuss the effect this has on the reader. Now, I'm going to start talking about the overall text to start with, and I'm going to write myself this note, and you could do the same. So I'm going to put something along. This whole text creates a picture of that person's life and how normal it is and how good it is. So this picture creates, or this text creates a picture of normality. But it is also starting to hint, foreshadow that something may be about to happen. Okay, so this is suggesting to the reader that something is going to happen. So here, this whole text is creating a picture of that person's life. It's a good life, they're happy. I've said that in that I think this bit here was everything was all right in my world. So it's showing that this person has a good life. But it's also hinting that something could happen because it talks about that little wisp of, that small wisp of smoke rising and the soothsayer shouting. The soothsayer is like a wise person, so shouting that there's going to be, that the volcano is about to erupt. So in this part of the text, I'm creating this picture that everything's fine so that when I start talking about things happening, the contrast will be really good. So once I've done that little sentence or something like that, and you would put something like that in your own words, you'd then start to look at the grammar or the vocabulary. You choose which one you want to look at first. Now I'm going to look at the grammar first, and I'm going to start to think about, I want to identify all the adverbial phrases that are there. So I might put a key. So you might want to get your highlighters out for this one, and I might put that pink is adverbial phrases. Now, remember we did adverbial phrases in class before Christmas, and we looked at TRAMP, time, manner, reason and place. So I'm going to now get my highlighter and try and find as many adverbial phrases that start sentences as possible. So the day started like every other day. Sitting quietly. That's an adverbial of manner. How am I sitting? I noticed there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Okay, then I'm going to rushing to get ready. Here we go, rushing to get ready. Now it would be good if you could actually identify here which ones they are as well. I'm not going to do them all for you, but I know that this one is, I'm just going to put of manner there next to it. So you could do that. Okay, and the beauty of these adverbial phrases here is that the effect it has on the reader, that it makes your writing flow. So it makes your writing flow whilst giving an indication of what life is like. Okay, sitting quietly in the garden. I'd quite like to be sitting quietly in the garden now, I think. So that is your task. Green group, you're going to go through the text, read it, take a paragraph at a time and sum up what that paragraph's about. So this whole text here in paragraph 1 is creating this picture of normality. When you've done that, you're going to then look at the grammar, and I've only picked out one piece of grammar. You might want to also look at the punctuation that's being used there and talk about how that benefits the reader and what effect it has on the reader. And then you might want to pick up some of the key pieces of vocabulary. So that's it, Green Group. That's your task for today. Now remember, it's an hour's lesson, so I'm expecting you to take an awful lot of time. And when I get this sent back to me at the end of the day, I expect to see this whole page annotated with your thoughts. Finally, Year 6, when you're happy with your work, I want you to check your waggle over. Is there anything else you could add to it? And then I want you to email it to your class teacher at the end of the day. So that is the end of lesson 4 for today.